Greetings fans, hyperfans and people just lost looking for videos of cats on YouTube. Today we are going to be looking at another one of the Titans Returns Deluxe class figures from Wave 2. This is HighBrow and Zort. Again, I know a little bit less about these characters than I do most of what I cover because the Headmasters originally came in just as my original interest in Transformers was starting to wane. So, talking about the figure himself, we have a mainly blue and grey figure. The blue is a really sort of nice royal blue. The grey is a little bit darker than it appears on camera with these really nice paint applications. The Autobot logo is tempered on very nicely but a little bit off centre. And he has kind of a nice metallic silver paint on a lot of the details, something that I usually have thought was a Takara job. So yeah, I'm quite happy with the way that guy looks as a start. He comes with these two magnificent Gatling guns, which I will take out of his hands now. I'd just like to say thanks to TF Direct for getting this to me within about 8 days of me ordering him, and that's not bad for shipping from China. So these guns, unlike most of them, don't really seem to interact with the Titan Master figures until you slide these two together and you make a single thing with foot pegs for your Titan Master. Not really sure what that's supposed to be sort of vehicle wise. It's a little bit peculiar, but it does have the benefit over a lot of the other Titan Master weapons of not looking like a sled while it's in people's hands. The other really nice detail about this figure above any of the others in the line is that if I unfold him, you will see that he actually has this tiny amount of paint detail on Zort's face. Give me a second and we will go down to the Titan cam. So in close-up you can see that Zort has the visor filled in on his faceplate, kind of fitting considering the guy's original name of Gort was a reference to the robot in The Day the Earth Stood Still, and the only detail you got on that robot was in fact the visor. He is absolutely tiny, so comparing him to a standard Lego figure, one of the Head Robot's third-party Headmasters. Actually, I'm going to move him a little bit closer because perspective makes that look about the same size, where actually he's about a head taller. And just for fun, there he is next to one of the Mantiforce figures. There's one done up as an EDF pilot. So yeah, probably the smallest Transformer that I've owned to date. Like all the other Headmasters, the arms are on ball joints, giving it 10% out to the side and 90% out to the front. Head's on a ball joint, and this one's particularly stiff. The legs are clipped on at the top, metal pin through the middle, which allows them to go from sitting all the way up to bent in double in screaming agony in order to put the head back on the robot. The head attaches to the rest of the body just by pressing into a little friction joint, and the original Headmaster gimmick of showing off some stats is removed from this size. However, if you just extend that out, which is part of the transformation, this section in the middle will fold down and I'm pretty sure somebody's going to do a sticker set to show off some stats in there. Strangely enough, I don't actually know what this bit of transformation is for, because it makes absolutely no sense in any mode, and I haven't received instructions for this guy. Articulation is pretty much what you would expect: the ball jointed head, a ball joint in the shoulders, and a standard swivel into the body. There is a mushroom peg for the upper bicep, bend at the elbow, and transformation banky wrists. The movement on the arm is kind of hampered by these pauldron-y pieces and by the blades at the back, which don't fold down, don't go anywhere interesting, and just generally get in the way. He has no waist articulation, universal joint at the hip, cut at the thigh, 90% at the knee, actually further than 90 degrees, that goes all the way up into a high kick, nothing at the feet, a little bit of a bend on the heel spur if you really want to get a more dynamic pose with some balance. Transformation is incredibly straightforward. Rip his head off, fold in the fists and straighten the arms out, fold over this cockpit, which is on a double hinge, and a little knob there just clips into that neck joint. If you want the landing gear down, it's actually easier at this stage to open it up and poke through in order to pull that down. If I get those out of the way, the legs basically extend out, and then concertina up. Make sure that you have the feet folded all the way back in, and then the arms just plug in to those grooved pegs there, and align with pegs on the legs. There's no collapsing in of the arms, they just kind of settle there. So obviously he's got no backwards landing gear, so we take the weapons, split those, and then using the clips sticking out the bottom rather than the handles, we push those in and we get the rear landing gear. We take Zort and put him into a seated position. We can open this back up again, pop him in there, and clip that down. So again, we have some sort of VTOL, twin blade, Cybertronian jet helicopter thing. We have blades which, if you're not careful, do bump into each other. But you know, in general, he's a Cybertronian vehicle. There's nothing else you can say for that. As a deluxe figure, though, in this mode, he has a hell of a lot more mass than something like Tomahawk. We're supposed to be the same size class. And actually is a little bit more on par with a deluxe. So that's kind of cool. Oh, and before you ask, no, you can't fit the Titan Masters into World's cockpit. For me, highlights of the vehicle mode are definitely this deep red cockpit. The fact you can see Zort through there pretty easily. All this gappage on the top I think is a little bit disappointing. I'd rather these just sort of folded up and filled this space in. I like the use of the magazines as secondary 5mm posts. Again, this thing, don't really know what it's for. I mean, it opens up a lot easier here. Does it make sense there? Does it make sense there? Is this some obscure reference to something he does in one of the cartoons that I haven't seen yet? Who knows? So, for a toy with an additional gimmick and a lot of paint apps, is he worth tracking down? Well, considering that he does have all of that, comes with two very nice weapons, he's actually pretty good. He looks pretty good from the front, although there are huge amounts of both emptiness and kibble from the back, and the arms are okay apart from this sort of internal void here. Size-wise, he scales pretty well with some of the smaller deluxes we've had over the last couple of years. But with those side wings, I think I've kind of got to bring in one of the original classics, Datsun mold, to actually show... Yeah, actually, he's not bad. I have to say, I really do like the face sculpt on this guy, and I really do love that very metallicized gunmetal grey paint. I mean, I'm not a big Autobot collector, I'm not a big fan of Headmasters. He's gonna look good on your shelf, but whether you want him or not is really down to how you collect. If you're enjoying these videos, please hit the subscribe button. Thumbs up if you think this video is particularly cool, and if you've got anything to add, that's what the comment section is for. I've been Macula. This has been Titan's Return Deluxe Class HighBrow, and until next time, if you're keeping the mint in package, you're not a toy collector, you're a box collector.
Nice!